Anna walked quickly but quietly toward Nathan, her heart pounding in her chest. "Sir," she whispered, trembling, "please don't eat that food." Nathan looked up, startled. "What are you saying, Anna?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Please believe me. Madam has been putting something dangerous in your meals. She and Master Marcus. They want to harm you. I heard them talking when they thought no one was around." Nathan froze. His fork hung midair. His breath caught in his throat. You must be mistaken," he whispered. "No, sir," Anna said, her voice shaking but firm. "I would never lie to you. Please don't eat this food. Install cameras in the house. See the truth for yourself." Nathan's mind raced. He had trusted Anna for years. She had no reason to lie. But the thought that his own wife, the woman he adored, could betray him, it was too painful to believe. Yet the fear in Anna's eyes was real. Slowly he put down his fork. Anna quickly took the plate away and replaced it with another she had secretly prepared earlier. The same meal but safe. Just then, footsteps echoed down the stairs. Clara entered, her perfume filling the room. She smiled sweetly. "I hope you're enjoying your food, my love," she said. Nathan forced a smile and nodded. "Yes, it tastes wonderful." He chewed slowly, pretending nothing was wrong. But inside, his heart was breaking. How do you face betrayal when it comes from the people you love most? What happens when trust turns into a weapon? Nathan asked himself. Because from that night forward, his life would never be the same again. Nathan's life looked perfect. He was young, handsome, and incredibly rich. But beyond the money and fame, what truly made people love him was his heart. He never looked down on anyone. He treated his workers like family, paying hospital bills, attending funerals, and helping those in need. To everyone, Nathan wasn't just a boss. He was a blessing. And at home it was no different. Anna, his maid, often thought she had never met a man so kind. In other homes she was shouted at and humiliated. But here, Nathan treated her with respect. "Anna," he would say gently, "you've done enough for today. Go and rest." Those simple words meant everything to her. The mansion became her world, and Nathan, her master, was someone she deeply admired. Then there was Clara, Nathan's beautiful wife. Her beauty was the kind that made people stop and stare. Wherever she went, whispers followed her. "Nathan is lucky to have her." But behind the elegance and smile, Clara's heart was restless. She had everything, money, fame, and luxury, but still craved more. More attention, more power, more thrill. Nathan never noticed. He loved her deeply. He trusted her completely. To his friends he would say with pride, "Clara is my crown. I couldn't ask for a better wife." And one of those friends was Marcus. Marcus and Nathan had grown up like brothers. From the same dusty streets, they built dreams together. But where Nathan succeeded, Marcus struggled. And every time he visited Nathan's grand mansion, something dark burned inside him. Jealousy. He would look around and think, why is this not mine? Why Nathan? Why not me? And then there was Clara, the woman he could never have. Every glance, every soft laugh, every time her perfume lingered, it drove him deeper into envy. Still, Nathan saw him as family. He trusted Marcus with everything. But behind the smiles and laughter, a storm was quietly building. The day finally came when Nathan had to travel for business. The morning sun was gentle, painting soft rays across the living room as he zipped his travel bag. He turned to his wife with that familiar warmth in his eyes, the kind that had once made her heart flutter. He leaned in, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "Clara, take care of yourself. If you need anything, call me. You know I'll always provide." She smiled, but her heart was far from his words. She just wanted him gone. His kindness, the same kindness everyone admired, no longer stirred her. What she wanted now was danger, excitement, a taste of something forbidden. When Nathan's car disappeared down the road, the house grew silent. Anna, the young maid, swept through the hallways like a soft breeze, diligent and devoted. She always missed her master when he traveled. The house, she thought, never shined quite the same without him. But that evening everything changed. A knock echoed at the gate. And when Anna opened it, there stood Marcus, Nathan's brother. A confident smile played on his lips, and in his hand, a bottle of wine glimmered under the fading light. "Clara," he said warmly, "since Nathan is away, I thought I should come keep you company." There was something daring in Marcus's eyes, something dangerous, and she liked it. In the living room, laughter filled the air. Marcus's words flowed like sweet poison. "Clara, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Sometimes, I wonder how Nathan managed to win such a treasure." She blushed, pretending to protest, but her heart beat faster. It had been so long since anyone had spoken to her like that. As their laughter echoed through the house, Anna passed by quietly, carrying a tray of snacks. She noticed the closeness, the way their eyes lingered on each other. Her steps slowed, her gaze sharpened, but she said nothing. She simply bowed and walked away, though a storm brewed in her heart. Later that night, Marcus pretended to leave. But moments later he returned, his tone calm yet calculated. "My car won't start," he said. "It's late. Please, just for tonight, may I sleep here?" On the couch. Clara hesitated, then nodded. "Fine. You can stay in the guest room." Silence swallowed the night. Anna lay awake in her small quarters, uneasy. Something about Marcus's gaze had unsettled her deeply. She whispered a prayer. But prayers that night were not enough. Past midnight, Marcus rose from the guest room and crept through the hallway. His footsteps were soft, deliberate. He stopped at Clara's door and knocked, gently at first. Then he pushed it open. Clara was awake, startled. "What are you doing here?" she whispered. Marcus's voice dropped low. "You know why I'm here. Stop pretending. I see how you look at me. You're lonely, Clara. Let me ease that loneliness." Her heart pounded. She wanted to resist, but his hand brushed hers and reason faded. That night betrayal was born. Anna from her room stirred. The faint whispers, the creaking bed, the muffled laughter, it all reached her ears. Her heart broke silently in the dark. How could Madame do this, she thought. Does she not know how much Master loves her? Tears filled her eyes as she turned away, praying the dawn would wash away her sorrow. Morning came, and with it unease. Marcus lounged on the sofa as if the house belonged to him, ordering Anna around, calling for water, shoes polished, breakfast served. Clara wore a smile that didn't reach her eyes. And yet, each time her gaze met Marcus's, a silent fire passed between them. Days turned into weeks. Marcus stopped pretending to visit. He simply came and stayed. He made excuses, lingered longer, and slowly, the walls of the house became witnesses to sin. Each night, Anna lay in her bed, her heart heavy with secrets. She prayed her master would return soon. But another fear haunted her. What if, when he does, there's no home left to return to? Because the seed of betrayal had been planted, and Marcus, bold and shameless, was watering it with every stolen glance, every whispered lie. When Nathan called from far away, his voice was full of love and care. "My queen," he said over the phone, "is everything all right at home? Do you need anything?" "Yes, everything's fine," Clara replied sweetly, masking the guilt behind her tone. But inside, her heart had already drifted far from him. His love felt heavy, his devotion dull. And in her thoughts, only Marcus's face remained. Meanwhile, Anna saw everything. Every smile, every whisper, every spark between them. And though her lips stayed silent, her prayers grew louder. Then one afternoon, while Nathan was still away, Anna walked down the corridor carrying laundry, and froze. From the dining room came low voices. "Clara," Marcus whispered, "as long as Nathan is alive, we can never be free. He's the wall between us and happiness." Her voice trembled. But he's my husband. Husband? Marcus scoffed. A husband who leaves you alone night after night. A husband who gives his heart to the world, while you suffer in silence. He leaned closer. Clara, you deserve better. You deserve me. And as she lowered her gaze, her heart began to betray her once more. The silence of the house was heavy, dangerous. And as the night deepened, Clara sat in the dim glow of the lamp, her mind tangled in a web of temptation and fear. Across from her, Marcus leaned casually against the wall, a glint of danger in his eyes, the kind that could lure even the strongest heart to ruin. "Tell me, Marcus," Clara whispered, her voice trembling. "What do we do then?" Marcus's lips curved into a dark smile. Slowly, he reached into his bag and drew out a small glass container. Inside, a fine white powder shimmered under the light. "This," he said, pressing it into her hands, "is the key to our freedom." He lowered his voice, almost seductively. "It's ground glass. Just a little in his food, little by little, and soon his organs will fail. Everyone will think it's sickness. No one will ever suspect you." Clara stared at the container, her hands shaking. "Are you sure about this?" she whispered. Marcus stepped closer, his eyes locking on hers. "Trust me," he said. "Do this, and Nathan will be out of the way. His house, his wealth, everything will be ours. Then I'll take you far away. We'll start anew, free and happy." Clara's lips quivered, then slowly a faint smile formed. Yes, she thought, maybe this is the only way. But they were not alone. From the corridor, Anna froze mid-step. Her heart pounded violently against her chest. Ground glass poison, she's going to kill him. Anna pressed her back against the cold wall, her breath shaking. Tears welled in her eyes. How could Madame agree to this? How could she plan to kill such a good man? She wanted to scream, to rush into the room, but fear chained her to silence. She was only a maid. If she spoke, they might destroy her too. That night, Anna lay in her tiny room, staring at the ceiling. Sleep never came. She thought of Nathan's kindness, his gentle smile, his generosity, the time he paid for her little brother's hospital bills. Her tears fell freely. No, she decided. I cannot let him die like this. Morning came with a deceptive calm. Nathan returned from his trip, his face glowing with love and peace. He handed Clara a small velvet box. Inside, a diamond necklace sparkled like fire. "For you, my queen," he said warmly. Clara gasped, her eyes wide with fake delight. "Oh, Nathan, it's beautiful." She kissed him lightly, but her mind was far away, with the container hidden in her drawer. That evening, she cooked his favorite meal herself. She hummed softly, her face calm, her hands deadly. A small pinch of the white powder disappeared into the pot. Stirred. Dissolved. Anna stood silently by the kitchen door, watching. Her heart sank with every stir of the spoon. Later, Nathan sat at the dining table, his smile warm, his trust unshaken. The poisoned plate sat before him. Clara leaned in, her voice sweet. "Your favorite meal tonight." Just then, her phone rang. "Excuse me, love," she said softly, rising. Her heels clicked across the floor as she climbed the stairs. The moment she disappeared, Anna moved. She rushed forward, her voice trembling. "Sir, please don't eat that food." Nathan frowned, startled. "Anna, what are you saying?" Tears glistened in her eyes. "Please believe me, sir. Madam has been poisoning your food. She and Master Marcus, they're planning to kill you. I heard them myself." Nathan froze, fork midair. His heart seemed to stop. You must be mistaken." "No, sir," Anna whispered, desperate. "I would never lie to you. Please, install cameras. Watch it yourself. You'll see." For a long, heavy moment, silence filled the room. Then Nathan slowly put the fork down. Anna snatched the plate, replaced it with one she had secretly prepared earlier. Untouched, safe. Moments later, Clara's heels echoed again down the stairs. Nathan sat calmly, forcing a smile. I hope you're enjoying your meal, she said, sitting across from him, her voice sweet as honey. Nathan met her eyes, smiled faintly and said, Yes, my love. It's delicious. But inside, his soul was breaking. That night, after she had gone to bed, Nathan sat in his study, silent, pale and shaken. Anna stepped softly into the doorway. Sir, did you think about what I said? Nathan nodded slowly. His voice was deep, wounded. Tomorrow we'll install cameras. Everywhere. And the next morning they did. Hidden lenses watched every corner of the house. The kitchen, the hallways, the dining room. No one knew. Except Nathan and Anna. And soon the truth would reveal itself, on camera. A truth darker than any of them imagined. The sun had barely set when Nathan stepped into the grand mansion. His briefcase in hand and the exhaustion of the day written across his face. At the door, Clara waited. Her smile warm, almost radiant, a picture of love. I made your favorite dish tonight, she said softly, her voice calm, soothing, but beneath it, a flicker of something darker lingered. Earlier, in the quiet of the kitchen, Clara had pulled out the small packet Marcus had given her. Her fingers trembled slightly as she poured the fine powder into Nathan's food, stirring with meticulous care. Pride swelled in her chest. The plan was in motion. She plated the meal and carried it toward the dining table, unaware that a pair of watchful eyes followed her every move. Anna, the loyal maid, crouched silently in the corner. She had waited for this moment, biding her time like a shadow. The instant Clara stepped away, Anna moved with precise urgency, swapping the poisoned plate with one she had prepared earlier. Her hands shook, but she was resolute. Nathan would not die, not on her watch. By the time Nathan sat at the table, everything seemed ordinary. Clara leaned forward, her smile sweet, her eyes glinting with hidden triumph. Eat, my love, she said softly, the words laced with a dangerous promise. Nathan picked up his fork, his face calm, though inside his chest, his heart pounded a frantic rhythm. Anna hovered nearby, pretending to arrange the table, but her gaze never left him. Clara watched every movement, every bite, imagining the life that awaited her once Nathan was gone. Her lips curved with anticipation. Nathan ate, each chew deliberate, controlled. He swallowed slowly, hiding the storm inside. When he finished, he leaned over and kissed Clara lightly on the cheek, masking the turmoil churning within, then excused himself to the study. Night fell, and the mansion grew quiet. Nathan sat with Anna beside him, the only sound the soft hum of the hidden cameras flickering to life. Together they watched, horrified yet resolute, as Clara opened the packet and poured the powder into his meal. The plate went to the table, the act precise and deliberate. Nathan's face drained of color. His chest constricted, the air seeming to vanish. He gripped the arm of his chair, unable to look away. This cannot be true, he whispered, his voice breaking. The truth hit him like a blade. The woman he loved, the one he had trusted above all else, had plotted his death. Anna placed a gentle hand on his shoulder, her own eyes glistening with tears. I am so sorry, sir, she whispered. Nathan closed his eyes, heart shattering with each beat. The life he had built, the home he had cherished, it was crumbling before him. Yet, amid the despair, clarity emerged. He would not act rashly. Not yet. He needed proof. Days passed. Nathan had seen the truth, and Clara's betrayal hung over him like a storm. But confronting her too soon could allow Marcus and Clara to escape, leaving their plan intact. He needed a strategy, a plan to uncover their full scheme. He made a decision. He would play along. The next morning, Nathan appeared at the dining table, dark circles under his eyes, looking weak and worn. Anna had brushed powder across his skin and applied a hint of oil to his forehead, simulating sweat, creating the illusion of sickness. When Clara descended, she froze, eyes widening with barely concealed triumph. My love, you don't look well, she said, her voice soft but cold beneath the surface. Nathan coughed weakly into his napkin. I don't know. I feel so tired lately, he murmured. Clara touched his shoulder, hiding the joy in her heart. Don't worry, you'll be fine, she whispered. She did not know. Anna had already switched his plate. Nathan ate safely, every bite deceiving her, feeding her false sense of control. Days turned into a week. Nathan grew weaker in appearance, coughing, lying in bed, pretending he could not walk far. Anna silently removed any food Clara had prepared before it reached him, ensuring his safety. To the household, it looked as if their master was slowly fading away. Clara's care was an act, tender gestures, whispered reassurances, soft touches. But alone with Marcus, the mask slipped. One evening, Anna heard the muted laughter of conspiracy from the garden. Marcus's voice rang with pride. I told you it would work. Look at him now, coughing, weak, almost finished. Soon he'll be gone and you'll be free. Clara laughed softly, a sound that made Anna's stomach turn. Finally, Marcus, our dream is almost here. I only need to pretend a little longer, and then Nathan will be out of the way forever. Betrayal sank deep into Anna's chest. Her hands clenched, tears threatening to fall. The darkness in Clara and Marcus's hearts was more profound than she could have imagined. Inside the mansion, Nathan lay in his bed, eyes half closed, pretending to sleep. Clara entered, stroking his hand, her voice a syrupy deception. How are you feeling? She asked sweetly. Nathan coughed weakly. Still not well, he whispered. Clara leaned close, her lips brushing his ear. Sometimes I wish you would just go, she murmured. Then I could finally live the life I want. The words pierced him, sharper than any blade. He had known the truth, but hearing it from her lips broke something inside him. Yet he remained still, silent, a mask of weakness. When she left, Nathan sat up slowly, tears burning in his eyes. Anna entered, seeing his expression and freezing. Sir, did she? Nathan nodded. She wishes me dead. Clara, the woman I gave my heart to, the one I built my life with. She wants me gone. Anna placed a trembling hand over his. I am so sorry, sir, but you must stay strong. We are not done yet. Nathan wiped his tears, his jaw hardening. You are right. I will not give up. I need to see how far they are willing to go. Then, when the time is right, their evil will be exposed for all to see. And so Nathan continued his act. Each day he grew weaker in their eyes, coughing, stumbling, even feigning fainting. Clara's joy swelled with every imagined victory. But Nathan's mind was sharp. His heart burned with a quiet fire. Though crushed by betrayal, he would fight, not with rage but with patience. The stage was set. His enemies believed they were winning. But Nathan knew deep inside the game was far from over. The mansion looked serene from the outside, bathed in the golden light of the late afternoon sun. But inside, a storm was brewing. Nathan knew it. He had seen enough. Clara's heart was no longer his. It belonged to Marcus and the lies he whispered. Yet Nathan couldn't act too quickly. One wrong move and they might vanish, taking their crimes with them. So he began to plan. Late that night, when the house had fallen silent and every light was dim, Nathan sat in his study with Anna. His face looked pale, sickly even, a disguise he had worn for weeks. But his eyes burned with a fire no illness could hide. Anna, he whispered, leaning close, we will let them think they are winning. But before they can strike their final blow, I will strike mine. Anna's eyes widened. What will you do, sir? Nathan's hand moved to the safe hidden behind the bookshelf. He opened it slowly. Inside were stacks of papers, files, and property deeds. His empire laid bare. The land, the businesses, the bank accounts. These are what they want, he murmured. But they will never touch them. Carefully, he removed the real documents, locking them into a metal briefcase. From another drawer, he pulled out copies. Fake papers he had meticulously prepared with his lawyer. They looked real but held no value. These, he said, a cold smile forming on his lips, will be their reward. The next morning, Nathan played the part of a broken man. He lay in bed, coughing weakly into a cloth, while Clara hovered at the doorway, her eyes wide with feigned concern. "My love," she cooed softly, "you must rest. Don't worry about business or papers. I'll handle everything." Nathan nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, you're right. But in the safe, there are important files. Keep them safe for me, in case I don't make it." Clara's eyes lit up. She fought to hide her excitement, but her fingers trembled slightly as she brushed his forehead with a gentle kiss. "Don't talk like that," she whispered. "You'll be fine." But in her mind, she was already imagining a life without him. Later that afternoon, when she thought no one was watching, Clara crept into the study. Her fingers shook as she opened the safe. And there, just as Nathan had planned, lay the fake documents, neatly stacked, waiting for her. "At last," she whispered, her voice low and thrilled. She stuffed them into her handbag and quickly called Marcus. That evening, when Marcus arrived, she handed him the papers. "It's all here," she said, her eyes gleaming. "Once Nathan is gone, everything will belong to us." Marcus flipped through the files, a greedy grin spreading across his face. "Perfect," he said. "I know a buyer who will take these immediately. We'll be rich, Clara. We'll leave this country and live like royalty." Clara's heart softened. Together forever, she thought. Marcus kissed her hand, but inside his mind, another plan was already taking shape. The next day, Marcus arranged a secret meeting. He told Clara it was with a foreign buyer who could pay millions for the documents. What he didn't mention was the trap Nathan had laid. Alone in his car, Marcus laughed to himself. "Once I get the money, I'll vanish. Leave Clara behind like the fool she is. Why share when I can have it all?" He didn't know. Nathan had anticipated everything. The buyer Marcus was meeting wasn't a stranger. It was a close friend of Nathan, a man who owed him a favor. Nathan had explained the plan. And now the friend was ready. That evening, Marcus arrived at the quiet hotel lounge, black briefcase in hand. He scanned the room, then took a seat. Soon the buyer appeared. Marcus leaned in, whispering with pride. "These are Nathan's company papers. Once you pay me, I'll disappear from this country. Clara can do whatever she wants. But me, I'm flying abroad tonight." He pushed the fake documents across the table. The buyer smiled, gave a subtle signal, and in a flash, men in plain clothes surrounded Marcus. "Police!" one shouted. Guns raised, corners covered. Marcus froze. His mouth hung open. The buyer revealed his badge. "You're under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, and attempted murder." Back at Nathan's mansion, the arrival of police cars barely caused a stir outside. Neighbors peeked through their windows, curious, as officers moved inside. They found Clara, calm and confident, sipping wine, certain her plan was working. "Mrs. Clara," an officer said firmly, "you are under arrest for attempted murder, theft, and conspiracy." Clara recoiled. "What nonsense is this? Do you know who my husband is?" The officer didn't flinch. "Your partner, Marcus, has already been caught. He gave us everything we need." Her expression shifted, denial first, then fury. She screamed, struggled, but the handcuffs clicked into place. By the next morning, the story had spread like wildfire. Headlines screamed, "Wealthy man betrayed by wife and best friend. Murder plot foiled." The day of judgment had come. Nathan sat quietly in the back of a police car, heart heavy. In the van ahead, Marcus and Clara were being driven to court. Pale, cuffed, terrified, they had plotted his death just weeks ago. Now the world was about to hear their secrets. Crowds had gathered when the cars arrived. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed. The people who once admired Clara for her beauty spat her name like poison. And Marcus, once praised as Nathan's closest friend, was now cursed as a traitor. Nathan leaned back, calm, patient, watching the storm he had orchestrated unfold. Because sometimes, the quietest storms bring the most devastating thunder. The courtroom was tense, almost suffocating. Nathan walked past the crowd with quiet dignity. On the outside he appeared calm, composed, but inside, his heart was shattered. The woman he loved, the friend he trusted, both had turned against him. Marcus and Clara sat at the defendant's table, side by side but no longer united. Marcus's eyes were cold, calculating. Clara avoided his gaze, as if ashamed, as if their so-called love had evaporated into nothing. One by one the evidence was laid bare. Video recordings. Clara, pouring poison into Nathan's food. Stolen documents from his estate. The secret meeting where Marcus had plotted to sell the fake files and vanish, leaving Clara behind. Every detail, every lie, every betrayal, exposed. Nathan sat through it all, jaw tight, eyes fixed straight ahead. Each recording cut like a knife, but he refused to falter. He would not give them the satisfaction of seeing him broken. Finally, the judge's voice rang out, heavy and commanding. Clara, you are guilty of attempted murder. Marcus, you are guilty of conspiracy, fraud, and betrayal of trust. Both of you will face the full weight of the law. A gasp swept through the courtroom. Clara buried her face in her hands, weeping uncontrollably. Marcus sat rigid, lips pressed into a bitter line. But the truth was out. Their darkness could no longer hide in the shadows. Outside, the press and townspeople waited. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Nathan stepped into the light. For a fleeting moment he thought about running. But then he remembered Anna's words. Face the truth with courage, sir. He raised his hand. Silence fell. His voice was calm, but carried the weight of every betrayal. I stand before you today, he began. Not as a wealthy man, not as a powerful man, but as a broken husband and a betrayed friend. The people I trusted most tried to destroy me. The crowd held its breath. Nathan continued, voice stronger now, steady, resolute. But I am alive. Because of one person. Not my wife, not my friend. Someone the world would not have expected. My maid, Anna. A ripple of murmurs passed through the crowd. Nathan's eyes scanned the faces of the people gathered, then returned to Anna, standing quietly to the side. Her hands were clasped, her eyes brimming with tears. She had never sought recognition, and yet here she was celebrated. The crowd erupted into applause. Cameras turned to her. Neighbors whispered her name with newfound respect. For the first time, Anna was more than a servant. She was a heroine. That evening, the mansion fell silent. Anna gathered her bag, ready to leave after a long day. She always slipped away quietly, letting the family enjoy their evening. But as she reached the door, a soft voice called her name. Anna! He turned. Nathan stood in the living room, eyes tired but gentle. You were going to leave without saying good night? He asked, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Anna lowered her gaze. I didn't want to disturb you, sir. You've had a long, heavy day. Nathan stepped closer, his voice soft, warm. Anna, I don't know how to thank you. Not as a master to a maid, but as a man whose life you saved. Her heart skipped a beat. She looked at him, unsure what to say. You showed me a kind of loyalty I had never known, he continued. When everything around me crumbled, you stood firm. I cannot imagine this house without your presence anymore. Anna forced a small, trembling smile. It was my duty, sir, nothing more. Nathan shook his head gently. No, Anna. It was more than duty. You gave me something my wife never did. A heart I could trust. Her breath caught. She tried to look away, but his gaze held her there. Silence hung in the hallway, broken only by the soft ticking of the clock. Nathan reached for her bag. Their hands brushed, a spark neither could ignore. He held the bag in one hand, eyes locked on hers. I don't want to replace what I lost with lies, he said quietly. I want something new, something true. And I see that in you. Tears welled in Anna's eyes. Sir, she whispered, her voice breaking. No titles tonight, he murmured. Just Nathan. That night did not end with a kiss, nor a fairy tale promise. It ended with something far stronger, hope. Two souls, wounded by betrayal, had found each other amidst the ashes. The road ahead would not be easy. But for the first time, Nathan and Anna could see the beginning of something real. Betrayal had destroyed one bond, but it had uncovered another, purer, stronger, destined to grow into love. I hope you enjoyed the story. Leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories and comment below to share your thoughts. See you in the next video.